Greetings fellow Decepticons, Soundblaster1987 here, continuing my look at recent figures of the Unicron trilogy with Henkei Hot Rod. Now, before you G1ers in the comments complain, this is not actually the Hot Rod character. This is the Japanese version of Universe 2 Armada Hot Shot with his minicon partner Jolt. I currently don't have the original Armada Hot Shot mold for size comparison, but what I do have is the Velocitron version of Cybertron Deluxe Hot Shot for a size comparison. As you can see, even with their missiles at the back, Cybertron Hot Shot's still bigger than his Universe 2 Armada counterpart, and much bigger than Jolt because minicons are much smaller than their counterparts. Then for a size comparison, here is Sparkplug from the Armada Optimus Prime figure in comparison with Jolt. As you can see, they're about the same size, which is not exactly realistic because, you know, helicopters are supposed to be much bigger than cars, but still. Oops, put the wrong finger away there. Here we have Hot Shot with Cybertron Crumple Zone, or Galaxy Force Land Bullet, in this case, because mine's the Takara version from my previous review. So, for features in this mode, the Henkei Hot Rod version of this figure comes with two exhaust flare missiles on chromed launchers underneath the exhaust of the vehicle mode. This is actually a minor retool from the Universe Hot Shot release, as the Universe Hot Shot release didn't have this feature, and the back bumper is fully moulded on the American version. But the Takara version cuts a gap in the bumper for the missiles to flare outwards like exhaust plumes. This version of the mold was also used for the Timelines Diane figure from the BotCon subscription service a few years ago, whose blue Jolt minifigure represented the GoBot Copter, except a heroic version, because of course Copter was a villainous renegade GoBot. But for interaction in vehicle mode, there is this groove here specifically designed for Jolt's cockpit to fit into. Like so. Unfortunately, he's not very secure in this position, and he's not exactly the best design for it. If I try and fold the pontoons back, he'll fit a bit better. Unfortunately, the only way to truly get the flight mode speed boost from the cartoon design for Hot Shot with this figure is to mistransform Jolt so that he folds in half partially, because his minicon port is underneath the nose cone here, and there's only one port for Hot Shot on here at the back bumper, so attach Jolt to the rear bumper minicon port, fold them in half, splay out the legs, rotate them, and make the legs become an extension of Hot Shot spoiler. This fan mode speed boost version of Armada Hot Shot can be attributed to RuneScape 228, a fellow reviewer who pointed it out in his Dion review. I'll leave a link in the description since he's now re-uploaded all his YouTube stuff. So, without further ado, on to the transformation. So, remove Jolt, like so. Then straighten his legs, fold them back down. And Jolt is complete in his robot mode. Because of the way he transforms, he has the worst balance of all three versions of the mold, unfortunately, but we'll soon deal with that later. So, to transform Hot Shot, first take the chrome missile launchers off the underside like so. You can see them molded to look like exhaust pipes. Next, the actual transformation is very similar to the Armada version of Hot Shot, but with a few complicated differences. So, for example, split the kibble like so, double hinge the car doors onto the front of the front wheels, like in the Armada toy for the legs, then split the bumper, come under here and unfold the feet from the front bumper, just like in the original Armada toy. For the original Armada figure, this was a mini-con gimmick that required Jolt to plug into the engine block on the hood to pop out some buzzsaws on the vehicle mode. Then what you need to do is split the back bumper if it hasn't already been split. Then split the roof and whatnot, that'll become the arms. Then you want to come around to this side and untangle everything where possible. Then flip this panel like so, so that the waste pieces can come down like so, as long as there's no arm kibbling away. Not the easiest of transformations, and I'm pretty sure TJ Omega did this better than I could, but I'll leave a link to his review in the description as well for future reference. So, the main problem with this transformation is the back kibble panels are on awkward different hinges and such like, so it's hard to see what you're supposed to do with it. But once it's all locked in place, you can connect the waist halves together like so. Then once you've got the legs oriented correctly, you want to hinge the front windshield pieces down onto the backs of the cars like so, so as to minimise restriction of the knee movement. Sometimes a little tricky on some parts of it, so flexing the plastic in some cases, while not advised on clear plastic and fragile hinges, may be the only option here. I'll come back to that in a moment. Next, what you want to do is disconnect the forearms from the rear windscreen and rotate these panels to reveal the hands. Same on both sides. Then what you want to do is rotate this back panel so that the mini-con port is facing upwards, so Jolt can still attach later on. And rotate the other back panel so that it's out of the way. We got the gap in the bumper for the rear part is definitely helpful here with kibble alignment, but it's still a nuisance to fiddle with. Finally, rotate the head around and lift up the visor. And here we have Henkei Hot Shot in his robot mode. Again, I currently don't have the original Armada mold for size comparison, but what I do have is Cybertron Deluxe Hot Shot and Cybertron Voyager Crumple Zone, as well as the Armada Minicon Spark Plug to compare with Jolt, who can't stand up because of his stupid leg design that's completely hollow and not deep enough, unlike the original Jolt. I mean, from what I've heard of previous reviews, the other Jolts are not very good either, but still, they're better than this. Now, Henkei Hot Shot can hold his missile launchers in his hands, like so. Even if it's not the right weapon for Armada Hot Shot's designed to be using, but, you know, they had to work a weapon gimmick in somewhere to put chrome on the toy for the Henkei release, so. Speaking of features, the articulation is pretty decent on this figure, although it is somewhat hampered by the kibble and such like. So, the head is on a ball joint with a friction hinge visor going up and down for the targeting system of his Axel Zuka from the cartoon. There's also a light piping block in the back here that I can't show off very easily because it's not very bright in here at the minute. Shoulders are on universal swivels with an outward hinge, that means he's always bashing himself in the head with his own spoiler. And then there's a bicep swivel and a relatively deep, almost double elbow bend that's inhibited by the panels. Nothing of a waist due to the, half and half clipped together system of the transformation. Universal hips with a ratcheted outward movement. Thigh swivel, quite loose on my copy for some reason. Swivel above the knee as well, that's odd. And a knee bend that goes almost entirely the same both ways. Nothing at the ankle apart from the, back and forth hinge for transformation. And the, way that the foot transforms means that you can hinge the toe a little bit as well. So clamp onto a surface like Cybertron sideways. So, apart from the fact that Jolt can now transform back into helicopter mode and then plug into the Minicom port on Hot Shot's shoulder. Just give me a sec while I repair Jolt. Aside from the fact that he can plug into Hot Shot's shoulder panel and such like, I don't really see how much else I can display any features with this figure. So there's Hot Shot power linked onto Jolt, and that concludes my review. I have been Soundblaster1987. Join me next time when I'll be continuing and concluding my look at the Unicron trilogy for now with Galaxy Force, Cybertron, Thundercracker. Till then, till all are one.